had some people reach out to me lately saying they are a little frustrated by the mock class process. They've had to do several mock classes. They've gotten feedback that they either feel is not relevant to what they talked about in their mock class, or it's contradictory to what they heard from another mock class mentor, and they just would like some help so that they can finally pass the mock class and teach students, which I totally get. So today I'm going to go over some specific feedback that someone sent me because it is probably common to feedback other people are getting, so that we can talk about how you can apply this to your next mock class to pass, so you can actually teach students and really become a better teacher in the process. This whole process should make you a better VIP Kid teacher, not just so that you can fit into this small box we've had and create this little mold version of what our teachers should look like. All of our teachers are going to look different, but we want to teach you some core principles that will make your classes more successful. So the first piece of feedback she got is that she needs to work on her educational TPR, which is awesome because that's a total easy fix. So to get like super extra bonus points, you need to use educational TPR when you're introducing any new content. So for example, on the ball slide, a lot of people aren't using an action when they're teaching ball because almost everyone has a ball. So we have to repeat it 2 times in isolation anyway. The first time, maybe hold your ball. Ball. The second time, put that down. Ball. Or you can like bounce a ball. Whatever you want to do. For every time you're having the student repeat those words in isolation on your I slides, eyes in the upper right hand corner, right? Make sure you're doing some sort of educational TPR with that. That is potentially only 2 slides, and that'll be enough to make it so you're not getting like a negative score in that category. So for extra bonus points, just keep using it throughout. So for example, the throw, you're going to say throw on so many slides. Do the throw action for each one of those, and then I'm telling you in no time you're going to go from that's a category you need to work on to that's a category you're a rock star in. And it takes very little effort. Something to remember, you can't just do like throw, it's like so fast the student doesn't even see it. So like hold it for a second, at least 3 seconds, so that's something that they can reciprocate, and make sure you're not using the same actions to teach multiple words. I see this sometimes on the kite slide where people say kite. Okay, got it. And then later they say fly. And that's not really helping me distinguish between those 2 words. So use different actions for different words and use it for every new word you're teaching. Check, check. I say easy. The next one that this person needs to work on, the feedback says you used a few I do, we do, you do modeling techniques, which was adapted to students. Try to use more of those. I do, we do, you do is a super common area people need to work on. This is under the modeling category. So modeling happens throughout slides in these lessons. I slides, again, that's in the upper right-hand corner, are where we're doing the I do. So we need to get repetition from the student. The verb, sometimes word. The new content 2 times in isolation. Maybe it's ball, maybe it's kite, maybe it's doll. And then the sentence just 1 time in isolation. That's all that needs to happen on that slide. Sometimes people are trying to go above and beyond and do I do, we do, you do, all of that on the I slide. You don't have to, because that's just going to take up too much time. Just repetition on the I slides. P slides come next. That's where we're pulling away our help and we're practicing with this content together. So on those slides, it's really important that you introduce the question. So for example, again, on the ball slide, maybe I'll have the student say, he plays with a ball. What does he play with? And they can respond to the question using that sentence on their own now. So just teaching them how it works in context is all that needs to happen on the P slides. You are going to miss points if you don't introduce the question on the P slide. A slides are where the student needs to respond to the question, making that full sentence on their own. More often than not, on A slides, applicants are either accepting only 1-word answers from the students or not eliciting any responses at all. Especially this is happening on the audio slide, where we have to drag and drop, she flies a kite, I fly a kite, drag and drop those pictures. If you're not getting the student to say something on that slide, that's kind of a big problem, because that's where we should be applying everything that we've learned. So drag and drop slides often correspond with A slides, or P slides sometimes, but don't let the drag and drop become the focus. The focus should always be the student output, and on the A slides, the student should be making that output independently, aka responding to questions. So just keep that in mind. This person also got some added feedback that they need to help the student more or support the student more on the interactive slides. So maybe the slide with a kite and the ball lesson, that's a big one people struggle with. So on that one, I would start that one with drag and drop the ball. Which one? As I'm doing that, I'm taking the soccer ball, I'm moving it to where it goes, and then I'm putting it back. I'm taking the basketball, moving it to where the soccer ball goes, and putting it back. So I'm not going to just ask the student to drag and drop and stare at them. I need to move things around and demonstrate how those interactive functions work. Even if I've already demonstrated drag and drop, just give me some clues as the student, what things move on this slide? Where should I move things? And that'll help move things along a little bit better so that you're not killing your pacing, waiting for the student to figure out things on their own. Another one people struggle with when they're demonstrating, it's not really an interactive tool, but just how to do things, is on the he throws slide. So we need to circle the picture of the guy throwing the ball. So sometimes people are just saying like, circle the picture of the guy throwing a ball, which again, that's a teacher output problem, which this teacher is not struggling with. But just know I'm going to say, circle he throws. And then I'll draw a box around the pictures of all the 3 options that they have. So they know like, oh, okay, one of those. So don't be afraid to give the student extra clues, whether it's drawing on the screen or moving around those interactive functions so they're not left trying to do it all on their own. Okay, all of that is under modeling. The next big category this person got feedback about was their error correction. So this is another common category that people need to work on, which I don't think is a huge fix. You guys have so many things to think about when you're in your mock class. Like, I know, it's a lot to juggle. Add to that list tiny errors, okay? And I don't want you to feel bad for correcting the student. If the student says, she plays with ball, I don't want you to be like, oh, that's cute, it's kind of close. You know, no. We don't want to help them set any bad habits. So she plays with a ball. And let me tell you, if you emphasize that error correction, bonus points. Just a matter of emphasizing your voice, and that's gonna like blow your mock class mentor away. So missing articles, incorrect articles, a and confusion. Another big one I really need you to listen closely to is the final S getting dropped off. Throw and throws. What's the other one? Play and plays. I don't think that's really in there. But the final S is a big one, and this person also has the feedback to look out for rolling their R's. So synthetic phonics, always important. Sometimes R sounds do get a little funny, and you might think, like, I know how to speak English. I know the R sound, which is true, I'm sure. But when you're isolating those sounds and helping a student blend them together, sometimes you're making sounds that aren't actually the way you talk. So just remember, R, again, is a tricky one. We're going to say, and have the student repeat that back. What's another one people are missing? H, just air. We don't need to go into ha. And those are the main ones there. I do have a video about synthetic phonics that I will link to. But just don't be offended if they give you the feedback like you made some grammatical errors and you're thinking like, no, I know how to speak English. Sometimes we say little things that we're thinking are helpful for the student. Maybe we're oversimplifying our language, leaving out articles ourselves. And so just be aware that you're not doing that. If our synthetic phonics are wrong, you're also going to get docked points in this category for language proficiency. So just know that those are all under that umbrella, and don't try and overextend those synthetic phonics sounds, you know, ha. Just keep it simple, and the student will be able to repeat those back in the simple way that you have explained to them. So that's the main feedback that this person got from their mock class. Those are really only 3 main areas, so I think it's totally fixable, something that you can work on and improve without that much effort to pass this next mock class. I'm confident in you. If anybody else would like to get feedback and help understanding the feedback that they got from their mock class mentor, please send it to me. And in order to get this feedback from me, just go into your teacher's portal and you can just plug in my code SHARO, SHARO 0001 into the portal in the top right hand corner. And so you can also just email them and say that Sharon Tavari is the person that referred you, and then email me. So again, my email address is sharonlt87@gmail.com. We have got this. Reach out to me, and I hope that this is helpful for you. Goodbye.